This is the story of our yacht Varuna, a yacht we purchased in the Netherlands in 2021. Shahabagrassi 43, and she was actually the show boat at the Dusseldorf Boat Show in 2005. We're the third owners. The first owner was Danish and called her Ice Cream. Second owner has changed the name from Ice Cream to Varuna. And when we discovered that Varuna was the Hindu god of the sea, we decided not to mess around with deities and leave it as it was. The previous owners have kept her in fantastic nick. Her decks are superb. The engine had 850 hours on it and it was pristine. The engine room was pristinely clean. The interior was fantastic. And we have made some changes over a period of time, mainly in the electrics and the electronics. All the electronics were original Raymarine gear from 2005, which we swapped over to Garmin kit. And we did that before we left the boatyard in Holland to bring this magnificent ship back to Ireland. We took her out of Brunissy, down the canals, through the locks, and out into the Schelde River, down the Dutch coast, the Belgian coast, and into Dunkirk. From Dunkirk we went across to Dover, and from Dover we went along the south coast of England until we got as far as Lymington. We had contacted the marinas in Dover and Brighton with the hope to get in to get refueled, but because of COVID they were extremely cautious about letting anybody but their own registered berth holders in. When we rang Berthen Marina, however, they were extremely welcoming. And I'll never forget the man on the phone that I spoke to when I explained my big predicament, said, "Listen, come on in, we're all men of the sea. We'll sort you out, even if it means putting you into an isolation berth. We will find a place for you." We went from Lymington back then over to Plymouth, and Plymouth back up to Waterford in Ireland, and then into Dunleary in Dublin. She had been in Ireland for 2 years, went round Ireland twice, up to the Hebrides once, and in the late summer of 2023, that summer had been so bad, we decided that we would take her a little bit further afield, and we headed from Dublin down to Waterford, and from Waterford across to the Scillies, or the Scillies across the Brest, down to the Rad de Seine, Benaudet, Trinité-sur-Mer, and we ended up sailing into the Morbihan. We spent a week, 10 days, sailing around the Morbihan in late September, and we were very lucky that we actually managed to get a berth for Varuna in the town quay in Vannes.
This is the town of Vannes, the old gates, and when you get through the old gates you see the marina, and the marina is where Varuna has spent the last 7 months. Today, the 27th of April, is the day we're about to depart. It's a lovely day. The weather is very good. We go straight down the canal. I'm now popping in here to get the bread. Really lovely. I will miss this place. See this boardwalk here in Vannes. Down below us here is Varuna, tied up, about ready to go. And just spin around here, you can see back up to La Gambetta, which was the square with all the shops, and in between the sort of circular arched building there is the gate of St. Vincent, brings you into the old town. We're here now for approximately 7 months. Boats being tied up alongside here. Right diagonally across the way over there is Le Patio d'Al, the Irish pub, and around the corner here on the other side is the pizzeria that we would often use. Yeah, I miss it, but onwards and upwards. We're now in the port of Le Herbaudier on the island of Noirmoutier in the marina. Yesterday and today have been spectacular days down here. They do say that the Vendée has got a microclimate. I must admit, I can only agree with that. We left Vannes where it was raining. In Brittany, 52 nautical miles later, we arrive in this, what I can only describe as a paradise. There's a market on uptown. We're going up there now in a minute to get breakfast. And bizarrely, another boat pulled in here yesterday from the Royal St. George. I think they saw our Royal Irish ensign, and disappeared. Turned out it was Aki and Franco Byrne on board. What a disaster. Well, it might have been a blessing in disguise, otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get out of bed this morning. Had the forces met. Yeah, beautiful.
On our way into South Bologna, Varuna has just taken part in the Figaro Matre de Coq race. As you can see, we are holding our own as the other boats go screaming past. Third day sailing, third day like this. We've been upwind sailing all day long. Top going, we've been tacking quite a lot. Winds have been 12 to 15 knots, beautiful.
Very overcast morning here in the Vendée. We have decided to leave La Salle d'Olonne in the rain and head for Bilbao. An opportune weather window. Light winds today, building during the afternoon and evening, and a bit interesting overnight, sort of 20 knots, but it's behind, it's after the beam, so we should be nice sail. Yeah, it's like being back at home. The 3 glorious days of sunshine.
Half 2 on the 1st of May. We've just turned the engine off. The wind has been very variable for the last hour and a half, and it has swung around to its predicted or forecasted place, which is about 300 degrees sort of west-northwest, and is forecasted to be there for the rest of the night, increasing in strength as the evening goes on. We're clunking along here, I think between 6 and 7.5 knots. Thank God the engine is off. It's nice and peaceful as we gaze out here at the very grey and uninviting sea. Yeah, we're in Biscay now. We're just approaching the mouth of the Garonne River that leads up to Bordeaux. We've about 40 miles done of our 190 passage. So yeah, looking forward to the rest of the evening and see what the night brings. 5 in the morning here in the middle of Biscay. It's blowing 24, 25 knots. Nice, somewhat confused sea. Dawn has broken. We've used this little canopy here which protects us from the weather. I tell you, we needed it last night. Flying along here. It was a 200-mile journey from the Salle d'Olonne to Bilbao. And currently we are approximately 55 miles from Bilbao. So the chart over here, you can see us on the Spanish coast down below us. We're south of Arcachon at the moment. Interesting night. It's blowing anything between 28, 29 knots back down to 20. We've been reefing and reefing, so much so that there's very little sail left. But it's great. The boat's handling it beautifully, and looking forward to it. This is the following morning. The coast of northern Spain is in sight, and we're about 10 to 15 miles out of Basque country at this stage. Fortunately, the amount of wind noise over the commentary is impossible to remove, so I've taken over the commentary myself. Overnight we had between 25 and 30 knots of wind. We reefed right down. It was uneventful except for the fact as we were going over the continental shelf, we came across these 3 targets popped up in the AIS. They all have the same name, 1, 2, 3, and those 3 targets were unlit. We did not know what they were. We were within about a mile and a half of them, and it transpired that they were the boys holding up the fishing nets. We sailed into Bilbao without an issue, and that evening we went in and visited the Real Club de Yates de Ladra being the river in Bilbao. What a sumptuous place. The Commodore's mother was from Lethgar in Dublin. He introduced himself, made us feel very welcome in this club. And we sat down and we dined on beautiful Basque food and drank a considerable amount of the finest of Riojas and Riberas that they could manage. Great trip.